Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know I'm doing it on my phone this time instead of my computer.
I can tell it's a little farther away, but we can hear what you're saying. So I'd say you're successful in that.
It's it's closer to me than the computer.
On my phone too.
All right.
Computer froze.
Oh man. All right. Well, welcome everybody to the July 5th Delta Club Board of Directors meeting. First, as far as our meeting for next week, cases are significantly down from last month. So what are you guys thinking as far as the meeting? I'm personally leaning towards at least the in-person, if not the hybrid. The only, again, the issue that we had 2 months ago is if we have enough people there to support a hybrid meeting. So what are y'all thinking?
I'd like in person.
I'm okay with
Is there
in
anybody
person.
who would not be able to attend in person? As far as they know, I mean, I know things can change, especially with like sickness and everything, but.
There's supposed to be another, it's going to be like 99 degrees and my car doesn't have air conditioning and it's like a 30 to 40 minute drive away. You know, I guess if that's a requirement in pushing 70, so it's not really a healthy thing, but I realize a lot of you live much closer. So I understand where you're coming from. Thinking for me, it might be better if, like I just joined either the Neshoba or Olive Branch clubs and kind of let this go, because I realize you all want it in person, but for me it's a stretch.
Where do you live?
Huh? Where do I live? I live almost at state line of Mississippi.
Okay. I would say if you could get to my house, you could ride with me.
Yeah.
On Germantown.
Well, where's that?
In Germantown off of the Neshoba Road.
All right. Yeah, that's probably 10 minutes away.
Yeah, we could ride together that way.
All right then.
Yeah, I understand your I understand that reason. I know my mom, we've got to get her system checked out because we've been having to put Freon in there every few weeks, and like we rode in there today and we could definitely tell like it was 97 or 98 outside, and it certainly felt like 120.
No, I don't have any. It's a 2001 Dodge Caravan, so. And I'm not about with inflation the way it is and car prices the way they are. I had planned to purchase a new one last year or this year, but now I just don't want to do that right now. I'm just pushing it back.
Yeah.
Well, it's a long way to drive too, and I know that.
Huh?
It's a long
Sure.
way to drive, and I get tired of driving by myself because I just feel like there was somebody else.
Pass and everything. That's fine. Yeah. I'll get in touch with you about that one.
Okay, that's great.
All right.
Well, if we have enough other officers who can be there in person, I mean, we can support a hybrid meeting, but I just know, I think just that 1 month maybe, because it was, I think maybe 3 of us, that was it maybe, who showed up. And I know that's a lot on Scott, and then it was a lot trying to figure out technology and support both, and you know, and then handle the memberships, and then handle the money, and then handle everything. So I mean, if we have enough board members overall, you know, we can support hybrid, and we can support 1 or 2 not being able to attend, because I know Mike has a long drive from Hardeman, and then you're much further south. So I guess the biggest issue is, do we have enough others who can?
No, I'm on through for work, so I'll just stay over late to attend, so I can attend. I don't mind the meetings. It sure is nice to do this hybrid though, or this in the online format.
For sure.
Yeah, sure.
So
all right. Well, is there
hybrid? Do I hear in person, or both, or hybrid, or in person?
Well, I'll ask. I mean, can anybody besides Carolyn not be able to attend, especially like to help out with meeting stuff?
I will be
So
there.
we could try to. I would like to do a hybrid, and I'm sure we've got some members who are still dealing with COVID or with gas prices and all that. I mean, it would be beneficial. Like I said, we just have to have enough of us there to support that.
I just wondered, do we have a good enough, what is the program going to be?
Well, oh man, who was it? Was it Tom who sent out the field day video? And then I would like to go through, because I talked to Fred afterwards, and he said that he was going to try to kind of do like a recap with some of his members, and I thought it'd be good while field day is fresh to see. I know the heat played a huge impact on probably some decisions not to come out, but in general, trying to kind of get some feedback on why are people coming to field day, why are they not attending field day, is there anything that in particular that draws them to come out, or is there anything that we might could do differently to help encourage people to come out, kind of maybe some things like that while it's fresh on our minds, and it may just be a chance of a lot of stuff might have been going on, or people might have been out of town and all that, and we had a really good turnout, especially around lunchtime on Saturday. But
that's usually when you have the most people, club members, is when you're feeding them.
Yeah.
Food talks.
We had 79 people there.
Yeah.
Total.
So, and even Sunday we had some new faces come up. And it may have been the heat. But I don't know, just kind of, it never hurts to, especially with big events that we know that we're going to continue to try to support every year, figure out what works, what didn't work, and how can we improve and make it better. So as far as that, I mean, so that wasn't a whole lot by the time we watch the videos and talk about that for a minute. So I don't know. I mean, we could probably play a short program or something. I know does anybody know, or Joe, do you know how many, who all ended up getting the logs and submitting them? Does anybody know? You're muted, Joe. Joe, you're muted.
I've got the club computer with that, and then I've got a stick that Paul gave me with the GOTA on it, but I haven't heard of anybody doing the consolidation of it.
Yeah, I don't know who's doing the consolidation either. I still have mine.
Okay. I may email Fred here in a moment then and see, and copy a few people who had stations to see, because I would assume we need to get it in. And it'd be nice to know too, by the time we meet as a club, to be able to share how many log contacts we had and everything. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Any ideas for a program?
We're gonna have Perry Hayes give a plug since he's running for judge. Elections in August, so
The importance of voting and
yeah.
So the program will be field day recap, and you're gonna lead that, Mary Jean?
Sure. Yeah. Sounds good. Unless we can, well, here's another question. Joe, do you want to try to one more time before Huntsville bring up items to sale? Or do we want to do maybe like a swap shop
No,
on yours at
it's-
the meeting?
It's too hot for me to get the stuff together and
Okay.
try to organize it this week. I'm not going to get out and do that this week.
Okay.
It's brutal out there.
Really
Yeah.
is. It's not safe out there right now.
Not gonna be safe out there for the rest of the week.
By the rest of the summer. What things are looking.
Mhm. Yeah, I figured if it was this hot in June, when it was still technically spring, I think it's going to be a bad July. But that's my opinion. I'm not a meteorologist. So,
TV meteorologists aren't meteorologists.
that's true. That's true. Oh,
We could get a real meteorologist to talk to us and tell us why TV meteorologists are TV meteorologists. That's the real thorn in their side.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, any ideas?
I think probably doing it electronically is probably going to be the best way of doing it. Because I don't think the older people are coming out heat, and it's still supposed to be just as hot next week as this week. And, you know, even though the numbers are coming down, that might mean just for now, in Europe going up.
Well, would
And
y'all
after 4th of July, I bet you it'll be a spike next week.
Yeah, because people gone all this traveling.
Do we want to stick with Zoom only then?
That would be my thinking. With no more than we had last month at present, that's probably what you'd get back again this month.
Yeah. Joe, what are you thinking? Any preference?
I'm going to be at home.
Okay.
I know that.
Jim?
You know, I'm thinking, you know, maybe it'd be best for us to just do it via Zoom. It'd be easier not having to try to accommodate, you know, folks at the church as well. We don't even know, I mean, how well the AC at the church is running, or do we want to use their electricity to try to cool that space right now?
Yeah, that is true. I went up there to pick up and drop off the stuff for field day. And I mean, I know it's smart you want to have it higher around this time at like 78 or so, but it certainly felt hot in there. So
I would think they would probably keep it at 80 or 85.
Yeah.
When nobody's in the building.
When we did field day a couple of years ago, I remember the pastor coming out that Saturday afternoon, and turning the air conditioners on for the sanctuary so that it would be cool in time for their services the next morning.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do the same thing with the fellowship hall or not.
All right. Well, I guess we'll go on and vote. I mean, I'd be okay with the Zoom only meeting. Like I said, I'd personally rather be in person, but with the heat and all that, and if it works better for you guys, then
this meeting is recorded.
What happened?
And I would, I don't know. So, all right. So I guess we'll vote and see, do we want, so I'll just say a hybrid meeting or a Zoom meeting. So if you can raise your hand if you want to do Zoom only, then raise your hand. So 1, 2, 3. So for Joe, or Zoom only, or okay. So I've got 4.
I'll go for hybrid, but I'll be at home.
Okay. John, were you Zoom only or hybrid?
Well, I can do either. I'm flexible. So put me down as either or. I know that doesn't
And
help.
then
Yeah, we
Okay,
might need a
hybrid.
tiebreaker.
hybrid, we've got, I'm assuming Barry. Who's voting for hybrid? Raise your hand. We've got 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Well, all right, we'll Zoom only. All right.
Well, we can put it in the Sparks that we're doing it because of the heat situation. Having to cool down the facility and all that. We don't know how well that will cool down with 100-degree temperatures. Because usually you'll get a 20-degree drop and that's it. And 80 degrees is going to be sticky for some people.
Especially when you get 60 people in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's true too, because I know it's been hot here. I mean, even in the evenings, it's still going to be around, if it hits right, 99, 100 degrees. So
Even if it's 95 degrees or
it's
93,
still hot.
Yeah, I'm showing
We've had
96.
some real hot days
99
in that room.
next Tuesday.
What was that, Caroline?
99 high next Tuesday.
And it's 96.3 here at the KM4 BVH station.
It's gonna be that way.
Yard in the shade.
All right. Well, Mike, I will type up a small announcement for you, because I know we don't want to word it in a way that would put down the church or facility. So I'll do something small, and I mean, and it does, save on gas prices and all that, and
Well,
and honestly, the headache of not having to deal with hybrid, I'd rather not deal with that too.
Yeah,
So,
I think it'd be better if we do one or the other.
yeah.
I agree.
and the church, I just don't think it. I think you can word the thing in such a way it's not fair for the church just to come down that building for us to use for 3 hours.
Yeah.
For-
Yeah,
So that-
and I know we're not going to make everybody happy, and like I said, I know personally I would rather be in person, but I'd certainly rather, I don't know, it would be an easier meeting with Zoom only versus hybrid. So that's what we're doing, and it'll be a good meeting nonetheless.
What about testing? That's the only question I would raise.
So with
Well, have-
testing, I don't think he was going to be able to do it anyway this month, and Dan emailed me, and that's on the list to talk about. So Daniel emailed me and let me know that he's going to be traveling out of town to Florida, and he was not sure if he was going to be returning. He was not sure if he wanted to do this anymore, and let me know that we definitely need to start looking for a new VE. So Joe floated and we kind of knew it was coming anyway, but he kind of helped us bridge that gap to get through a couple months. So I know, certainly appreciate what all he did when he did it. And so Joe floated the idea of approaching Warren Zimmer, and I have just not had a chance to call him in the past several days. So I'm going to try to call him either tonight after this meeting, or if it's late, hopefully not, then give him a call tomorrow. And so, because Joe mentioned he's out of tax season now, so even if he can, maybe he can get started with it, maybe he'll kind of get a groove and have somebody who can help out during the tax season. I don't know. We won't know if we don't ask him, so I've got to give him a call and see. Unless any of you are close to him, but I don't mind giving him a call tomorrow and checking in to ask. So there won't be an issue with testing as far as he's concerned.
Okay, I just was asking. Would be something too that we could push for the Huntsville trip, because they're doing testing down there.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Well, I'll have a test session prior to Huntsville. for the class.
Well, I'm just saying you could play it up, trying to get people for your Huntsville trip that may want to go and test.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the
Besides,
tech class people will have had the opportunity on August the 4th.
I know, but they know that, but the other people that might want to test stuff.
Yeah.
I'm talking about other than your class, Joe. Just another hook to get another few people on the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So something else that came up, so kind of a field day recap. I mean, most everybody here, I think, either stopped by or worked the station or helped out in some form or fashion. But one thing I did with field day is I tried something different because Facebook has given us an ad credit, and I haven't done anything with it because I honestly didn't want to do a whole lot with Facebook. But I thought it would be good to promote, since that we had the free credit anyway, promote the ad, something about field day with those activities to people that might be outside of our membership. And so we had a bunch of activity, we had a bunch of shares, a bunch of new likes and everything, but we also started getting a bunch of emails and contacts for some different things. One of them, there was a Mark Taylor, Kilo India 4 Alpha Juliet Foxtrot, who reached out through Facebook and then reached out on the email from the website. And he said that he, up in Lauderdale County in Henning, Tennessee, he said that the fire department is trying to raise their tower another 100 feet. And so they were looking for assistance in the process. They were going to offer a repeater to be, you know, an antenna or whatever could be put up there, and they would be happy to supply like the power or anything like that, and supply an area where the equipment could be. And so I'd forwarded that information to Joe, and which Henning is I think that's just north of Ripley. So it's a pretty good
South
drive.
of Ripley.
Just
That's
south of Ripley.
South of Ripley.
Between Covington and Ripley.
Actually, okay. But anyway, so I told him I wasn't sure, and I forwarded some information to for the Tipton County, some of the Tipton County members, but especially now that we have Barry here, and we'll double check with you guys. Do we want to do anything more outside of getting him in touch with Tipton County folks who are a lot closer, or is that something? Do we want to try to get a repeater and assist with adding another 100-foot section to a tower up in Lauderdale County?
I'd say no. But Barry's the one that should say yay or nay.
Yeah.
Do we have any membership that could be served by this? I mean, do we have any members from Lauderdale County?
I don't
No.
think so.
Yeah.
No, I'd say no.
Okay. And that's what we figured, because I mean, it's certainly, man, I mean, I know it would probably be different. And even so, I know we've got everything going on with the 8.2 right now. And I know there's quite a few repeaters in our area anyway. So I certainly did not want to commit to anything, but I still told them we'd talk about it here, but I did not expect us to do anything since it was so far out of our coverage area. But
The only other question for me would be, which I think I already know the answer, but could this aid as being a hop to get onto M tiers? Which I don't think it would.
I don't think it would.
What'd you say, Joe?
I said, I don't think it would.
Yeah, I don't either. I
I'm
think
looking at a place in Brownsville right now, which
Awesome.
would be a better hop.
yeah. All right. Does anybody else have any questions or comments about that then?
Brunswick is far enough.
Yeah.
At the top on the right.
Yes.
Yeah, I figured as much as we've been running Barry and everything, that especially with gas prices now, he probably would appreciate not having to drive all the way up there. But I don't know. I thought it was worth sharing. So, all right. Something else that during field day, I talked to Fred, and I did not know that he's authorized to teach first aid and CPR classes, including AED. And I've got my certification for that. But with all the stuff that we do to promote being ready for anything and going and participating in disaster drills and especially with all the community service events that we volunteer with races, whether we're out in the heat, in the cold temperatures, where folks have no telling what kind of emergencies. He said that he would be in a position, if we were interested in getting together, maybe for anybody who might be active, maybe in any of the three big clubs, I guess 4 technically with Aries, but Mara, Neshoba, or Delta. If we wanted to try to get together something to where we had a class. And so the good thing, if he did it, we would not have to, like anybody who took the class would not have to pay like the $100 or $120 that like Red Cross and some of the others charge now. It would just be for the base cost of the certification. So I think he was thinking it might be like $17 for that, maybe 20 at most. So I don't know. I thought it might help, and it would be something a little different. It might be something that would be kind of a good, fun activity that would be with all three clubs. But what do you guys think? And we could still float to see, and we can ask about it in a meeting or something to see if there's enough interest. And if there's not, that's fine. But
I would definitely be interested in that. I think that's a great idea, and I would definitely push it through Aries as well.
Always good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be interested, but the question is what's the largest class he can do?
I didn't ask with those specifics. And he did say that like we would team up with, maybe it was like the fire department or something like that to offer it. So he would technically have to make sure it got approved through them, but it seemed like it shouldn't be a problem. So I don't know if that's something where if we had such an overwhelming turnout, if it's something where we would just say, hey, we'll try to do a second class later, which would be great if we had that much of a turnout. But I don't know. That's something I can try to ask.
12 people probably.
I don't know. I've taken most of the ones I've taken are about 10 to 12 max.
Yeah. You got
but
you got us to provide the time limit and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. And depending on what we would want to do depends on the timeline. So I think like CPR only, it sounds like might be a few hours. If we wanted to do CPR with first aid, it might be a few more hours on top of that. And then if we wanted to add in like infant CPR and things like that, I mean, you could be looking like a 6-hour class or so. And I would assume that also depends on how many are in the class, whether it's 10 or 20.
I think it's going to have to be checked to see if we can do it with the fire department.
Yeah.
If that's a needed thing. I thought if Fred was teaching it, why do we have to partner with the fire department?
Well, it sounded like that might be where he hosts his classes, or it's like it's something about it with how he was able to only charge for the certification. He had mentioned it, but I can't remember specifically. So I think it had more to do with if we could have like certain availability at that time. And so I also told him that I really just wanted to see if there was enough interest before we pushed it any further too. So
I think it probably will be just amongst the board. But when you say a class size of 12, if we have to do it with the fire department, what if they have 12 people and this class size is 12?
Well, it would, I guess it would be more of a team effort of, he might have to bring in some of their instructors if we have enough or something, or the use of the site. I don't know that it would have to be opened up to fire department employees, but I'll double check though. I'll double
Yeah,
check.
I think you need some more information, because usually when you have instructors for these, and I'm using hospital example, that's the only one I can use for you. There are always several teachers in a class of say 30 people. It just, because you got to do the testing at the same time. You do the class, do the testing, and then that's the certification, and that's labor intensive.
Yeah.
So you got to see how many people is he able to actually do. And I think he needs to check to see if indeed he can do it where he wants to do it, because I'd hate to get this going so far thinking that we we're going to do it at the fire department, and the fire department hadn't even talked about it.
Yeah. Well, I did tell him to wait until I brought it up at our board meeting, just again to see if there's enough interest. So I'll reach out to him in email and or call him and see and ask him questions and get more details.
Because the same people in the Neshoba areas and Delta, it's the same people we'll be asking.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I will, since there's some interest in it, I'll reach out and get some more information. And what I'll probably do, if I get answers from him before the club meeting and it's favorable, then I may bring it up just to gauge interest from club members. But if I don't get any answers, then I may wait to bring it up until I have some more answers. But all right. Well, we'll start on our officer reports. Barry, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to report. I have not been out to the site lately. Obviously, I've been kind of busy on some other things here. But I'm going to try between now and meeting to get out there. Actually, what I was going to say, if we were going to have the meeting, then I'd go out there right before I got to the meeting. But if we're not doing it, then that's a no. But I'll just have to find a time I can go out there and see what the progress is on stuff. But as a matter of fact, we ought to have our meeting out there. It's always 68 degrees or better in there.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's
Wow.
freezing. You walk in there in shorts and you're sorry very soon. But anyway, everything else seems to be running pretty good. So like I say, when I get some news about the 8.2, I'll or about the site out there, I'll let you know. But at the moment, I still don't see any reason to try to bring it back up. So that's it.
Sounds good. Carolyn?
Yeah, I'm just trying to, my computer unfroze, so I'm just trying to get this application saved.
If I need to pull it up on mine, I can too.
Yeah, it's a renewal. Let's see. Murray, here it comes. All right, so KN4 OEF, Robert Murray, he's an extra. And he's an ARRL member. And that's it. So do we have a motion to accept Robert Murray as a member?
All right. Is there a motion to accept the one renewal that we have? Barry? All right. So Barry made the motion.
Yeah,
Is there
I'll do
a
it.
second?
I'll second it.
All right, Jim has seconded it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. All right, it unanimously passes. Thank you, ma'am. Do you have any?
Oh, yeah, I did get one email request from someone named Spencer, and he wanted to know how to apply, and he would be a brand new member, so I said it would be prorated, and if he applied in July, he'd get 50% off. So he's probably going to have an application in the mail for the next meeting.
Good. Do you think if he emailed you, do you think that's something that he picked up off the net then?
He did. He said he was listening to our nightly nets, and that's where he got my email address, and so he was interested in joining.
Well, good. Awesome.
What was his call sign?
It's a K04. I think it's a Z. No, it's a KQ4. I'll have to find it. Spencer McGee. KQ4AQK. My name is
AQ
Spencer
what?
AQK. My name is Spencer McGee.
AQK, okay.
MQKEE, not McGee, but McKee. And I'm interested in joining the Delta Radio Club. I am located in Bartlett, Tennessee, and been listening to the Nightly Net for some time, but only recently got my license. I would love to hear of any requirements, fees necessary for membership. I look forward to hearing from you. So,
Good deal. Awesome. Good to hear.
We don't have enough members from Bartlett.
oh no, right.
Oh. All right, Scott, do you have anything for us?
Well, I do have one question. So how much did we use for the get together last weekend?
Yeah, so I just realized that before I called on you. So field day with snacks, there's a few, I made some notes because there's definitely some things. I think with the food options that we have, when we're not cooking the full chicken meals and all that, I mean, I know we're in a different situation, but it seems like our lunch times are going to be more popular than dinner. And it was actually the opposite when it was at the other Germantown location. So I know there were some things that I know I jotted down that we could cut out on extra snacks and all that, but we were about $120 less than last year with expenses. So I felt pretty good about that, considering how many things were costing a lot more. But as far as Delta Club stuff, it seems like there were a few things that we ate through. It's in the trail mix was pretty popular, so you don't have much of that left. But everything else, I know I ordered some more Cheez-Its, so there's Cheez-Its that have been restocked, and there's I don't know, a decent amount of chips in there. But
You'll
not
fill
too
a bunch of
many.
water?
I actually went through, I think, both, all 2 or 3 of the waters, and then a lot of the loose ones. So there's 2 full cases that I bought. So basically we kind of used what we had open and what you had in the closet and replaced it with fresh water. So.
All right. Well, I really don't have anything. It's up to y'all. If y'all want to meet, I can meet. It doesn't really matter to me. So that's all I have. So if we do meet again, probably be, we'll just take what we have left for if we have a meeting if we have the meeting in August, that's going to be before the Huntsville or after.
It should be before, because 20th is Huntsville.
Yeah. So it depends on if we meet again. I'll just, if not, we'll have leftover for Huntsville snacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can send you a list of what specifically was left over from field day.
When you get a chance, no hurry. I mean, since we're
Okay.
not meeting next week, it could be next month for all I care. on the next board meeting so they can all have something to get stuff with. But I think I still owed a check for the last month before, so I'll just have to put that on next time we meet. That's all I have.
Wait, what's that about a check?
Did I send you an email about a check from the meeting before last? When we met that last time?
Was that the one where you held onto the check and you didn't deposit it till later?
There was another one I sent you an invoice for.
Okay. I don't remember seeing anything.
All right, I'll go back and look and see. It wasn't very much. It was just for the snacks that I picked up for that meeting at that time.
Okay.
I'll see if I have it. I'll resend it to you if I did.
Yeah, I don't have anything from you.
Okay, I'll go back and see where I put it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, thanks.
All right. Well, since we're at you, Jim, what do you have for us?
Sure. It was a fairly quiet month. Do you want me to share my screen?
If you want to, let me.
Okay. All right, can you all see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so fairly quiet month, like I said. No checks written. We had 2 deposits, one for $45, and that was for 2 membership renewals from the last club meeting, and then a $50 deposit from the Karen Chancellor estate sales. So we started out the month at $23,470.04 and ended with $23,565.04. Our certificate of deposit still is growing slowly. And here's a breakdown of what we had there, those 2 membership renewals and the one item sold from the estate sale. So there's our $95. That's all I have. Oh, I guess I should state that the membership that we voted in tonight for Mr. Murray, that he sent his membership in late June, and I picked it up from the post office over the weekend. So I have not deposited that $20 yet. So that will appear on next month's report.
Yeah, and the $45 for the 2 membership renewals we voted on last month, because that's where I
Correct.
took a little longer to get that deposit in. So
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
So that's all I have.
All right.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Oh, sorry.
All right. And while we're on Jim's turn, so I emailed him, and I haven't pushed as much with some of the projects and everything that we've been talking about, because I know, especially getting ready for field day, and everybody's had a lot going on. But I did get in touch with Jim, and so we're going to try to get the PayPal account created in the next few weeks, and then our next step after that, I know I'll get with Mike after that's done. And I think Bob Balder, I know, has a heads up and knows that at some point when we get that created, he's ready to link it to the website for us. So once we kind of get some more action, we'll start talking about it more during the meeting and let everybody know. But the goal is to try to, at least my goal is to try to, for us to finally get some action on this and hopefully get it done before we start taking 2023 membership. So that way we can kind of have the kinks worked out and then know, so that way, you know, we can have it as a viable option for folks who want to renew and all that. So, all right, let's see. Joe, I know you have a lot. Oh, you're muted, Joe.
We have a tech class starting Thursday night. I've got, I think, 13 people in the class. So that should be pretty decent. That's the only thing I've sent Mike. Mike, did you get the training class report?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I did. Thank you.
Then Huntsville, we've got 29 people signed up that they said they will pay. That gives us, at 29, it gives us $490 in the hole. So if all of them come through, that will, that'll keep it at the range that I thought we might, you know, be acceptable on paying. I did verify that the 40 passenger bus has a toilet on board. That would be 34 people maximum on that bus. If we had 34 people, we'd still be $130 in the hole. And if we go up to a 56 passenger bus and have to pay the $300 more, then we would need 34 people to keep it under the $500. It'd be $427 in the hole. So I don't see that many more people wanting to go, but if it gets to 35, I'm sure they're willing to put on a 56 passenger bus instead of the 40 passenger. I've still got the contract. I will fill it out and send it in tomorrow. So they have it to where at least it gives us a slot for the bus. So I'm pretty happy that we've got 29 people. We did some finagling. Mary Jean, you want me to tell them about the scholarships?
I think so.
I had 2 people that said, 2 hams that have been around the club for a while. They gave a scholarship to a net control operator to be able to go on the bus. And I sort of parlayed that into, there were 2 net control operators that had spouses that were hams. And I told them that if they paid for themselves, the spouse would go at no charge, or vice versa. But so that was 2 of them. And then since then, if we did not get the 28 people, I had another person that said they would pay another $85 for getting it to 28 people to, or 28 paid subscriptions or what paid fares. So I was quite pleased with that. It certainly kicked us up when we got 4 people out of it, and a possible 5th supposedly if a couple of the people don't back out of paying the $85. So it looks like it's a go. I have one person that was questioning the size of the bus. I don't know if they were wanting to spread her out or not, but they don't have that luxury. They're only paying for 1 seat. But anyway, that's it. The next question I have is that after field day, we had chicken biscuits from Danvers, and I thought that might be something. I didn't know if the people would like chicken biscuits. I'm not sure what the cost is. Currently, the ham and the sausage biscuits are $3 a piece, and the bacon biscuits are $4 a piece. I was going to go with ham and sausage, but I didn't know if we wanted to try to put chicken in as an alternative. It might be 50 cents more. Normally, the chicken biscuits are 50 cents more than the other biscuits, and when you buy them retail. I don't know if it'll be 50 cents or might be 25 cents or what, but didn't know if we wanted to do that or if we wanted to actually pay $4 for the bacon. About 60% of the people chose bacon.
I'll take a chicken.
Yeah, I'll go with chicken.
I've
I mean,
already
we
told
can
Joe
do-
this. My preference is chicken, but I'm happy with whatever. They're always good. So
Well, we can do chicken, ham, and sausage. But I'll make a mandate that if the person is getting they're going to have two of the same and not split up between the different. It makes it more difficult when you're passing them out to have to give two different ones out. Because I'll go through and I don't know, Mary Jean, did you pass them out last year?
We
I
did.
think it was last year.
Uh,
So
would you want to be passing out split sandwiches?
No,
It's
it's more
to
difficult.
me, I thought it makes it more difficult.
Makes it more difficult. We had
Yeah.
we had them split up into different containers. And,
Yeah.
it was a lot
And
easier.
that makes it easier to hand out
yeah.
when they're in the container, in their separate containers, and you can call out the person with the name that has the sandwich. So we'll do chicken, ham, and sausage.
Okay.
It's like a plan.
And Mike, I'll get you an announcement to put in Sparks for the Ham Fest. I mean, for the bus trip.
Thank you.
And I'll get that, but I was waiting for the chicken selection. And that's it as far as, you want to bring up the ARRL membership?
Well, before we get to that, so another person that reached out on our email forum through the website was Marissa Bose, and she is the daughter of Terry Cox. And so, Joe, since you talked to her, do you want to say more about that?
Yeah, sent a note that actually I helped, I was part of the ground crew to install a 100-foot tower at Terry Cox's house out on Fisherville Road, just 2 houses from Macon, back in the mid to late 90s. He hasn't been active. He was a Tennessee section manager for 2 years back in, I guess, the late 90s. But he got burnt out of ham radio. He's been using some ham radio recently in a Jeep with a Jeep group, but he hadn't, and it's been a while since he came to a breakfast at Danvers. But they were saying, take down the tower and everything, and you can have the equipment, but it's all or none. And I called Keith Clarity, who took down Franklin's tower, and he won't even think of taking a tower down until September with all the heat. And I called Marissa back and told her, I said, it won't be this summer. It'll be middle to late September before he's got 2 other towers he's said he was working on or needing to take down. So I don't know what that situation is or if we'll get equipment or not, but that equipment has got to be 25 years old, at least, if not 30. So I don't, it's got some, had HF. I mean, I actually operated his HF gear in a contest with him years ago. And he had a tower with 2 ring rotors and let's see, I had a piece of paper with the, hold on one second. Yeah, he had, and I got this information from Steve Clark, N4. I can't remember what Steve's call is. Worked with him at FedEx. My office and Terry Cox's office were next door to each other for a number of years. But there's the tower is a RON 45 tower. On the very top, let's see, on the very top, I think he had a 2-meter 440, like a X50 diamond antenna, and then right underneath it was a 40-meter 2-element high gain antenna, and then on the top ring, let's see, on the top ring, he had I think a 20-meter 5-element monobander, and then on the lower ring he had a 15-meter monobander, and then there was a 10-meter telex, and then the rotor was a tail twister. So Keith said he'd take the tail twister, to help take it down, but he'd need a ground crew. And but I just don't see it. I think they want to sell the property, and I don't know, they'll probably have to get a crane to have it taken down. I just don't see us, getting much out of it. Unless some people are.
I think we lost him.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he'll jump back on here in a minute. So I guess he's going to kind of wait if he reached out to her to see, because from what he told me, and I agree, it completely depends on Keith. So if Keith if the earliest he can do this is September, then of course, that would be determining how much we want to help. So it's really also up to her and the family if they want to wait that long, or if they want to try to sell it before. And if that's the case, then that's up to them. That's kind of, Joe looked into it, and he let her know what we could do, and it is what it is. So we can help on those
There's very
terms
few
or
power
not.
companies out there that'll take it down for the equipment. You see that on QTH a lot, and that stuff usually doesn't go. So
Yeah.
she may luck out and find somebody.
One other thing is that the west guy wire had been hacked by a bush hog one time and then welded back by Jim Sissel. And I just don't know how good that weld is. Keith is going to go by there he's going to be out and about, and he was going to go by and take a look at it to see if he would even want to climb the tower.
Yeah, because that could be dangerous.
What level is that guy wire? This clip?
It's all 3 of them.
Oh,
Or all 2 guy wires I think what they hit was a rod.
oh, wow.
That was holding the guy wires. And I'm pretty sure there were at least 2 guy wires, if not 3.
Right.
So it would be that whole west section, it could be critical.
You said this is 25 or 45?
45.
Okay.
But Terry's, he's moving to Heber Springs and has already bought a house. When I talked to Marissa, Terry was actually in the hospital here at Baptist, so it wasn't COVID, but I'm not sure what it was, but I don't know if he's in that good a shape. I'm surprised if he was in decent shape. I'm surprised he didn't call me rather than going to the website. I mean, I've kept up with him over the years some.
So you're only going to get the stuff that's on the tower, or you're going to get the
No,
control?
you get the radios as well as the tower
Okay.
equipment.
Okay.
Well, I know if my schedule is available if it works out where they're not in a hurry and he's able to take it down and all that, I don't mind helping out. Because I'm assuming he's not going to climb if it's too hot, if he's waiting that long. So
No, he's not gonna. He got hot on Franklin's tower.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I mean, he almost passed out on the tower. We got him down and he just laid out flat.
He laid out like a roach with feet up in the air.
Well, I can vouch for the heat exhaustion nowadays, so it ain't pretty.
yeah. Does anybody? So I mean, I know we're kind of in a waiting phase with that, but it's obviously worth keeping everybody in the loop for. Does anybody have any questions for Joe? Comments, thoughts? Okay. Well, again, thank you for reaching out to. Oh yes.
What was Marissa's last name and Pete's last name and call?
Boast,
A minute.
BOAST, I believe. And Keith Clardy, CLARDY. He's KG5 PBJ.
Thank you.
And Terry Cox's call is KB4KA, Kilo Bravo 4, Kilo Alpha.
All right. All right. So
I guess
Joe,
the question is, do we really want to put it in minutes?
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
well, we could, unless it was just generic, like saying that we discussed,
Taking a tower down, but it won't be until
Yeah.
September when it cools off.
yeah.
Yeah,
At the earliest,
something.
it would be September.
September,
If
it's
it's still
usually,
available.
September, it's still pretty hot.
Yeah,
All right. Well, Joe, all right. So with the ARRL club commission program, Joe had looked into a couple of the questions. So Joe, do you want to fill us in on what you found out?
okay. ARRLs, if we get the application completed and they pay the $49, on a new applicant, we get $15. On a renewal, it's $5, whether it's 1, 2, or a 3-year renewal. We only get $5. What we'd need to do is get the application. They can make a check payable to ARRL, because ARRL gets the money and then gives us a commission back. But we'd have to have somebody to keep track of what goes up and how much money we're due.
Sounds like a lot of work for a little payback.
For new ones, I can work with the class students and that could be worthwhile.
Yeah,
But, for renewals, I don't know if it'll be that worthwhile or not.
it'll take you more time to figure out whether they sent you your $5 back than you chasing that $5 for a long time sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, one option, and I just thought about this, because it would be a lot to process. So would we want to even do it in phases and start with just the new members with the classes and see how that goes for, a couple times or whatnot. And then if it, once the kinks are worked out and all that, we can always go in and expand. I know I would hate to start processing everything and then decide that like Lynn said, is it too much for what we're getting? And then decide to trim it back. Like I'd rather
We can do
start
it
in
as a
phases
trial.
and add to it. So
we can do it as a trial. Do renewals and new ones and see how responsive ARRL is.
yeah.
I'd rather see their response for $15 than $5.
Yeah,
That would be the trial I would go for. Like she says, let's do the new class membership with $15 and see how that goes and get the kinks worked out. And then maybe move to the $5 after we've got a plan in place.
Or even if we only processed it at the time that Joe did the classes. So that way we're not doing it every month, but every few months or so. I don't know. I would love to do it, but I know my hesitation would be to add anything extra on anybody, especially midway through. But I don't know. What do y'all? When we mentioned it, it seemed like, especially at field day, we had quite a few members ask us about it, and it seems like everybody's certainly interested in it. But again, kind of looking past that into the logistics, it's who's willing to handle it, and how do we handle it to get it from idea to getting that check cut in hand. So
because the people would have to give a check for ARRL and have their ARRL ID number, I would think, to make sure that they get credit for it and all of that.
And then let us know that they sent it to the ARRL.
well,
No,
I think
the individual wouldn't send it, we would send it.
Oh, okay.
correct.
in a
So
batch.
they would pay us, and we would have to have somebody take that and send it as a cluster into ARRL. And then what Joe was saying is have somebody who can sit there and say, okay, we sent off for the month of August, we sent 10 renewals to ARRL and then 3 new members. So we're due X amount of money. But I don't know. What do y'all think? I mean, and if we did it, I would think long term, I would think it would probably be a good fit for the vice president role. Since the vice president now is over membership and all that. And so that's where, personally, I would see where it would probably be an okay fit. But again, I'd hate to add a whole lot of stuff right now.
I'll do what I can.
So I
with
don't
it.
know. What are you thinking? I mean, do you want to try to work with Joe and see if we can do the trial and give it a go for a few months and see how it does? Or
Yeah, I can do that.
So is it a matter of collecting checks from members when it's time for them to renew, and then, or when they're, first joining, and then all those checks are then forwarded on to ARRL, or
Right.
that's those checks aren't written to the club, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I would want them written to ARRL and not the club. Why have to go through a deposit and then write a check and all of that?
Well, what you're going to find is people are going to want to pay their club
Their
They might
dues.
want to pay cash or credit card.
They're going to want to pay club dues and ARRL dues.
Right.
all right, so here is the form that would be filled out and sent with the applications. And so this would be what somebody would fill out. And then down here, of course, where you fill out the commissions of how many, the numbers and then times the money. And then of course down here, which I don't know, I would probably prefer to have them mail a check to us versus mailing in our
Yeah,
check info every time.
Right.
Especially since we're not hurting for money to be deposited immediately. But I don't know. We could try it and see. Here, I'll post this link too. All right. Well, so if we're going to try it, do we want to try? And I guess this is asking more towards John, and I can try to help where I need to as well. But do we want to try starting with? Well, I guess if we're not meeting in person, I don't know that I'd want to. Do we, in general, do we want them to only do this if they're going to come in person, or do we want to have that where they can mail in to us and we'd have to get it? Because I know Jim is the one that checks that. I would think I'd rather see those be delivered in person, but I don't know.
It would make it easier, I would think.
Comes back to somebody else handling the money other than the treasurer, and I don't have the answer to the question. And it's. I'm just saying, are we creating something that we might not want to be creating with the handling of money and the mingling of money and trying to keep up money to send ARRL, as opposed to, it can take a couple of weeks before we pick up a check from the post office. And then it may take another couple of weeks before we start sending it in. So they're going to be maybe a month behind before they, or more before they are taken in by ARRL. That's a publication or two they've missed, and they may start wondering about where's my stuff, like
Yeah.
that. I'm just saying we're going to be creating another whole membership collection with somebody other than our treasurer taking it in.
So I know ARRL says that payment in full can be made to them by check, credit card, or cash. I would probably recommend that if we did that to keep it simple and only do checks, so that way they would be made to ARRL, and it would take out us handling credit card information, and it would take out dealing with cash and all that. But I don't know. I mean, I suppose we could do whatever if we did it. I would think it'd be easier not having to deal with credit cards or cash, though, since the payment goes to ARRL.
But then on the other hand, as a club, we're trying to make it easy for our membership to pay online by credit card.
Yeah. Yeah, and good point. Good point.
Because we got our members asking, I know that's how I do it when I renew my ARRL.
Yeah, personally,
online.
I've logged in online to pay it, and that might be where, is it worth, is it for the renewals? Is it worth dealing with the 5, or do we want to, go back to what we mentioned earlier? Do we want to stick with just the new people through classes, and that would be 15, and then that might be worth a little more of doing that? I don't know.
I want to know if I'm going to get my free book, my free choice of book, if I
No.
if I renew.
No,
Mm-mm.
I guess
Yeah,
that's where the $5 comes from.
that's what renewing at the Ham Fest is what gets you the book.
or any
No.
place else they are, you know.
No,
they-
if you do it online, you don't get a free book.
I know, but if you go to,
If you have the coupon code, you do.
yeah, you can get a free book.
I need to be
I've got-
checking my email better if there's coupon codes coming out through there.
I think I've got like 3 copies of the grounding and bonding book.
Well, yeah, the books, a lot of times they'll have coupons on from the company, from the store, but I don't think they have a free book other than when you sign up from a ham fest.
And a lot of people wait till Hamfest to do that.
I did.
I did too.
I don't have to anymore.
And here's the FAQ page, by the way. So it looks like they've added some information on here, probably answering everybody's questions. So, of course, the amount, and then that they need to get full payment. Of course, like Joe asked, it's not eligible for anything at a Hamfest. 2 to 3 weeks, a check should be sent. So I don't know. Well, some of you other guys who are being quiet right now, what are y'all thinking? Do we want to go full force on this? Do we want to wait and just do the tech class to see how it goes? Do we want to try at our next in-person event and see? And if that's the case, you know, we could email something out and just say, hey, this is a one-time thing for the moment that we're testing out. Or we can continue it, I don't know, or not do it at all. What do y'all think?
So we are looking at around 250 to 300 members in our club, correct?
Well, I don't think all of those are ARL.
Well,
A lot of them are live.
do we know how many, what percent of our members are ARL?
We do.
I mean, we can do a quick calculation and say whether we think it would be worth it or not.
Well, it might make it worthwhile for us to get them members.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure, because I know that the revenue stream is going to be relatively low from the new members, because we only have maybe about 50 new members a year, maybe. Does that sound about right?
Oh, no, it's way less than that.
Is it?
Yeah, I can
All right.
promote
Oh, I'm sorry.
by the ARRL through the class, and you'll get the rest of the year membership paid.
Right.
That'll help.
Our membership percentage ARRL is 53%. We have 81 paid members for 2022, 69 life members. A lot
So
of the
that-
life members are inactive.
So we're talking about maybe 150.
Huh?
About 150 members are the ARL, about just approximate.
No. Total members is 150. 53% of those are ARRL.
So we're talking about 75. 75.
And a number of those are life members already at
Yeah.
ARRL.
And many of those are inactive life members.
So can we estimate what the income would be based upon? Should we base it on 50 members then?
I'd say 30.
I mean, so then if we got 30 members and we're only making $5, that's $150 a year. That's a whole lot of
Yeah.
sugar. That's a little bit of sugar for a nickel, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We
That's
do
a-
it
that's a
selling
good point.
equipment.
So maybe we do just take the low hanging fruit and take the new members and get the $15. So, but if we're only talking, 15, that's $300, and then only about $300 for members. So I don't know. It just seems like a whole lot to keep up with for not a large return. But I hate to throw away free money though.
Recording in progress.
Yeah. All right. Well, other thoughts?
It just seems to be a lot of work for very little.
Yeah.
I'll try it for the for the tech class and see what, even if they want, see if they want to join ARRL.
Yeah. And
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Well, you always do a really good commercial anyway, Mr. Joe, for ARL when you do the test anyway, or the class. So, I mean, you're already putting that out there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, for new members, it'd probably be a good thing, but for the others, $5. It's a lot. It seems to be a lot of work and a lot of headache for someone to keep track of.
That's what I've been trying to figure out. And I think Mike figured it out real well. We don't
Yeah.
really need the money.
If we needed the money, I mean, granted, $150, we could all ask the members just for $5. But yeah, I just don't think we need the money unless we have problems with the tower.
All right. Well, is there any objection then to, for the time being, letting Joe do this with the new members in his tech classes, and we can always come back and reassess this, but not pushing it as a renewal thing, but just the new members through
Yeah, I think
classes
it's a
for
good
now.
idea. I think it's a good idea to, Joe does, like they say, does a wonderful job of promoting ARRL. Let's just move it on over. Here's the application, fill it out and give me your check. And that'll give them
Yeah, when they're
information
in the
too.
mood of writing checks, when getting into ham radio,
That's true too.
Well, they'll
I
get
can
the
get them to
magazine.
fill out the application on the 6th night of class when they have their call sign.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
magazine and the information ARRL is going to give them is going to be very good for them to get a hold of early in their radio career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you just put that we reviewed the ARRL membership processing through the club, and that Joe is going to do a trial program with the new students and see how that goes.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Sounds
All
good to
right.
me. And I think that's a good time to get new members. Because they get a free Delta Club membership for the rest of the year.
Right.
Mhm.
If they're an ARRL member, so.
So we'll get a ARRL membership then, and then the next year we'll get the Delta Club membership. So instead of getting a $20 membership, we'll get a $35 membership.
All right. Well, we had you for quite a while, Joe. Anything else?
Can't think of anything.
All right. Lynn, you got anything for us?
No, we sent media information out to all the media, but I understand didn't even have our one television station show up this last year, or this year. So we need to take a look at seeing what we might be able to do to shake some publicity out of this thing.
Okay.
But I know all the TV stations got it because I hit them twice. at the news desk, and they're the ones that make the opinion. Unfortunately, I think everybody's gone to people that are just coming out of school, and what they're interested in is reporting the latest shooting in Memphis or babies in the back of the car, or, you know, the sensational news. You don't see too much of the feel-good news.
Well, maybe, you know, I don't know, maybe that's something where we can kind of brainstorm and think about if we can do anything different for next year. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Anyway, I'm open to anybody's good suggestions.
All right. Well, anything else for us besides field day?
Me? Not me.
Okay. Mike?
You know, just continuing to work on the sparks. I only have a lot of update. I do need to put the new frequency list that Mr. Joe sent out. I'll put that on the website and update that. So I do have that we are doing Zoom only for July program. Field day recap by Mary Jean. And you're going to send me a justification for the Zoom only meeting. And Joe's going to send me a bus trip announcement. Other than that, you know, I'll try to have sparks out by, I'm going to shoot for Saturday this week. So, or this month. So.
So one thing I wanted to ask, again, I've got the email list pulled up, and I've started combing through it this week before this meeting, and I just didn't get a chance to kind of finish everything. Have you, or has anybody else had a chance to go through it either? I know Joe sent some feedback that one
Joe
time.
sent something, and Carolyn sent something.
Okay.
So, you know, I can start removing based on, you know, their feedback. I think that there were some slam dunks that they had identified that I could probably go ahead. I did get an email. You know, every month we usually get one unsubscribe. This month I did get an email from someone that said remove their email address. So I'll be doing all of those edits. So
Okay.
maybe
All right,
that'll get
well,
the 600 range.
Do you think it would work for you, maybe if you wanted to make some of those easy changes that they sent and then kind of reassess the list in a month or two? But
yeah, I'll continue to keep up with the statistics and track those so that we can, you know, continue to make good decisions.
Sounds great. And thank you again for sending out email reminder at the last minute.
Yeah, no problem.
So, I know it was hot out, so it's hard to kind of coax anybody out to anything outside in these temperatures, but
I just
I'm
got
sure
off
it helped.
the roof.
All right. John?
I really don't have anything this month. Finished up field day and just will help out wherever I can.
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to share one thing real quick. So just a reminder to everybody of the next 3 major events that I know I've got on my calendar. Saturday, August 20th, the Huntsville Hamfest. So it seems like that Joe, I know he's been pushing it really hard to get together a bus trip, and it seems like that's going to make. So Saturday and Sunday, September 10th and 11th, just a reminder, the Bike MS event seems like it's going to be going on. I have not checked because I know I've got this written down somewhere, but who again has been coordinating that? Do y'all know, or do y'all remember?
Daryl Sheffield?
Daryl?
That's what I
I'm
thought.
not sure. I'm asking.
I thought he had.
He has in years past.
Yeah, he's the one that usually comes to the club and asks for volunteers and pulls it all together.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna email him and see if they've reached out to him yet and see what he's thinking, if he's wanting to try to help or if he can make it to a meeting, or if we need to start pitching the idea for him, because I know would that be on the 9th and 10th?
That's down in Tunica, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Because it's
Yeah.
a 2-day event, and they'll
Right,
go.
that's
I
Dale.
think they typically bike over to the Tunica casino area, stay at the casinos,
Right, that night. Yeah,
and that would be
Dale's the one that does
before the September club meeting. So we would have to, if he was recruiting volunteers, really July and August will be the 2 meetings.
Yeah, he would be the one, if he's not doing it, he'll know who is doing it. And it doesn't sound like, I don't know, I think he had been with us ahead of time.
Yeah.
Can
Well,
you
I'll
send
reach
those
out
dates,
and
Mary
email
Jean?
him tonight and check in. Say again?
Can you send me those dates, please?
Yes. And then of course, I'm forgetting his name right now. Bluff City Blues Bike Ride again has reached out, and so we've already got some interest for folks to help on that. Am I missing any other big events that we need to kind of start reminding everybody about that y'all can think of?
I just called Daryl and left a message asking if he was doing communications for the MS 150.
Perfect. Good deal. All right. Any other, I don't know, anything else that y'all have? Any upcoming events, questions on that? I know tonight went over a little bit longer, but we had quite a bit of material
Next
to
time.
cover. Oh, it is. All right.
Next-
All right. Well, thanks everybody for showing up, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Zoom next week. We are adjourned. If there's no objection, we'll be, all right, we're adjourned.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
all.
Good night.
See y'all later.
Adios.